Got our new Harrop exhaust for the Patrol. This is a basically it's a center muffler replacement. So it's pretty easy to swap in and out from what I can see. And the sound wise, it's you know, it's not going to be intruding. Shouldn't be too bad when we're towing the caravan. So we're pretty excited to get it on and bolt it up. Stay tuned, we'll do a little video and we'll show you how easy or hard it is. We'll find out as we go, and we'll get some sounds as well. Looks fairly straightforward. Obviously we've got the replacement center muffler, and then we've got the Y pipes that are going to meet up to the existing pipes coming off each side of the motor. We've got a set of gaskets obviously and some bolts. Nice little sticker pack as well. I think it's 3 or 4 stickers in there. It's really straightforward from what I can see. All the hangers are all there. You've got a flex pipe on the crossover pipe as well. We'll see how we go with the install. It's time to install the exhaust. What I'll do is I'll do a few startups of the car on the standard exhaust. I'm sure you all know what a standard Patrol sounds like if you have one and you're interested in fitting this exhaust. But just a comparison from my speaker with and without the exhaust, just so you can compare. I'm not sure how well it's going to pick it up, but we'll definitely give it a go. So I'll do some startups now and we'll go from there. That's the standard exhaust. Pretty normal, pretty basic, pretty quiet. If you put your foot into it, sometimes you can hear a little bit. Not that exciting. This is going to be the first time I've heard the Harrop exhaust as well, the Harrop midsection. So I'm about as excited as you guys to hear this. I'll go over some quick tools that we'll probably need for the install. It seems pretty straightforward. There's approximately 6 16mm bolts. As I was saying, tools are pretty basic for this install. We have some CRC, depending on how old your car is and how much work it's done. Mine's done a little bit of beach work, so some surface rust, just light surface rust on some bits. So I'll give everything a CRC. We've got a pry bar, just for prying the exhaust rubbers out. 16mm spanner. For a Japanese car, for some reason I've got 16mm bolts, which is, I find, is pretty common on most cars. You'd think that'd be metric size 14 or 17 or 19 or something like that, but no, they're 16. We've got the 16mm socket, just in case we need to take some heat shields off, because there's some heat shields that run past the towards the back of the gearbox. I'll give you a shot of under the car in a minute and to show you what I'm talking about. And then just some extensions and trusty old rattle gun that we take everywhere with us. So yeah, like I said, fairly straightforward. So just taking a look at the pipes quickly before we install. Everything's wrapped pretty well, probably well enough to not get damaged on the way here. It all came in thick box, as you saw as well, and everything's really good, so pretty happy with that. Hopping under the car, you can see what we're going to be replacing. So this is the massive muffler that comes in the car, and obviously that's the main thing that's going to be quietening the car down. Some people do opt to chop this muffler out and throw in a MagnaFlow straight through a sports muffler. I liked the idea of keeping the standard exhaust, the standard midsection, so if I ever want to revert back to it, or if I find the noise of the new system annoying, then I can always change back to the standard system if I need to. That was the only issue with chopping the middle muffler out. Obviously that's a cheaper option. I'd sort of seen that most people get that done for $100, $200, $300 at the most. Most exhaust shops can do that really quickly as well. It's probably a fairly easy job, just a 3-inch chop, and it's an offset in and out, which with those mufflers are pretty easy to find as well, straight through. But again, I like the idea of having this one to revert back to if I do find the other one annoying. We tow a caravan a fair bit, so I'm a little bit worried about the drone and the sound. Basically, I absolutely hate the thong slap sound that 99% of the exhausts seem to make on the patrols. So this, from all the research I could do, doesn't do that thong slap sound higher up in the revs, but I guess we'll see how we go once it's all fitted. So over here we've got the crossover pipe. So being a V8, you've got exhaust manifolds coming off both sides of the motor. So this one comes all the way down here and across, and then this one's coming from the right side of the motor across, and they join into that Y pipe and then come down the muffler and out the back. There is another muffler out the back. So that should keep everything nice and crisp and smooth sounding. So I guess we're probably at the point where we'll start seeing everything, all the bolts, give them a couple of minutes to soak in, and we can start undoing bolts and pull that system off. Obviously, before getting under the car, make sure the car's stable, handbrakes on, chock the wheels if you need to. I'm not going to be jacking the car up today. I can fit under the car pretty easy, so that's not a problem for me. If your car is any lower, if you're on a hill, make sure you jack it up properly. The Patrol has 4 cats, which is awesome if you're into that. For us, we're leaving the cats in. You can see you've got 1 cat here, so that's a second cat. The first cat's further up near the manifold, and same on the other side. There's a cat right here and then here as well. So 4 cats all up, all before the Y pipe, and we're leaving all them standard. So we'll be undoing these from the back of the cat, and 2 bolts over there as well. We'll get into that, get some CRC on them. Alrighty, back at the diff side of the car, the rear side of the car. You can see this giant muffler, I'm just laying underneath it at the moment. Goes up and over the rear subframe, and we've got 2 bolts here. So this is where the Harriet mid section will end, and we'll be joining onto that standard rear section there as well. Alrighty, on the front of the big muffler, you can see just here that it's actually the exhaust hanger can unbolt. So that's going to be the easiest way to do that one, because that'll let it drop straight down. Because at the moment we've got 2 hangers, one pointing one way, one pointing the other way, so it makes it a bit difficult to obviously pry both sides off. You could push it off the side, but we're going to undo that, and that should let the whole front drop, and then we've just got the back hanger to deal with. These dreams blind my mind. Alrighty, that's ready to sit down. It's hanging off the lip on the other side, and this one's hung up on the heat shield for the cat. I've just got that single hanger right here to deal with now. This is when our pry bar comes into play. It's my mistake, there was one more rubber, so the whole exhaust is sitting down now. There's just one more rubber back here, so there's obviously 2, one each side of the rear of the big muffler. We'll give that some CRC and we'll give it a pry off. That actually doesn't sound too bad, to be honest. It sounds quite nice. It's probably a little bit loud. I don't know how well the microphone's going to pick that up. quite a nice idle to it. Way too loud for me, which is, some people might like that. Some people are all about the louder the better. Towing, that would be an absolute nightmare though. Alrighty, let's get this new one on. We've got both hangers in and both these bolts are done up loosely at the back. We're going to work our way to the front here. As I said, I'm going to bolt the back section in first and we'll work our way to the front. So the new bolts are a 15 mil nut and a 16 mil head. So nuts, heads, 15, 16, just to make it difficult for you. We'll put new gaskets in on the cats. We'll be retaining the standard bolts into the cats at the front with new gaskets. Well, she's all bolted up now. Everything fit up really well. As I said before, we started from the front, did everything up loosely, bolted it, hung it all up all the way to the back, fitting the bolts in all loosely, and then we've tightened it up from the front cats, nipped them up, and then we've nipped this up and then that up, and then that final one right at the back there, and everything fit up really nicely. It's not rubbing or touching anything. The only thing I'm probably a little bit cautious of is just up here is the actuator for the transfer case, and it's running quite close to this flexi joint. So to be honest, I'm probably going to end up heat wrapping this exhaust all the way up to here maybe. We'll play that by ear and we'll work it out and see how we go. I'll go for a bit of a drive soon and see how much heat comes into it, and we'll go from there. So now that she's all up, see if I can get a nice shot showing it all. It all tucks up quite nice. All not rubbing against anything, or there's plenty of space. Looks pretty good. Quite happy with it. And as you can see, it doesn't stick down past the chassis or anything like that. So it's all tucked up out of the way and out of damage way, which is really good. Let's give it a start. All on, you've heard it out the back. We'll see what it's like starting up in the car now. So I'm not sure if you can hear that very well, but it's not intrusive, it's nice. You can just hear the note over the motor, which is, the motor was all you could hear before, so I'm pretty happy with that. Alrighty, we'll go do some drive-bys. Do a full acceleration in the car so you can hear what that sounds like. She sounds quite nice. It's nice and subtle. You know it's there, but it's not over the top. It's good. All done and installed. Overall, really happy with how it's turned out. Beautiful sound, worth the money definitely. It sort of livened it up a little bit. It feels a bit more like a V8 over what it did before. The kit came with everything we needed. The kit was about $600. If I haven't already, I'll put a screenshot up of the Harritt website showing the kit. Delivery, I think, was about $30. They were out of stock when I first ordered, and I did have to wait for stock to come. Obviously there's a ton of people buying Series 5s at the moment, so I'd say stock levels are probably going to stay fairly low no matter how much they get in, as it's quite a good exhaust for the money. No performance, oh, it was hard to say, but I'd say there's no performance gain from fitting the exhaust. It's just purely for sound, which it's done really well at. There was only a few bits left over, some spare bolts, as we did reuse the standard nuts on the back where it goes over the rear frame, and the standard bolts were used bolting the new exhaust to the existing cats, because the cats were threaded. So I think I've shown you all that anyway. So everything that was left over was just here. So what's left over, obviously these are the bolts for that mount. It no longer uses this mount. There is no hanger or anything on the exhaust. The exhaust is a lot lighter, obviously, so it doesn't actually need it. I'm going to probably screw this back on and just leave that with the car. I'll see, as long as it doesn't hit or interfere with anything, I'll fit it. If it looks like it's going to interfere with the new exhaust, I'll leave it off and leave it with the original exhaust, which I'll put up on some racking out the way. Obviously spare bolts, these would have been the 4 for the front cats, and these were the very back ones, so it did utilize the middle part of the new exhaust, 4 bolts to bolt all those together. So I've shown you underneath the car, I've shown you what it sounds like. Hopefully this video has been a little bit helpful. There wasn't a whole lot of videos out there, and a lot of people do want to hear the sound comparisons. And I've obviously shown you with no exhaust as well, which is pretty extreme. A little bit cool. All good.